And it looks like we are going to be off.
Yay. Oh, here we go. Both of them starting at Link's house for a pretty bad reward, unfortunately.
Yep, nothing good here. Ooh. Okay.
We're having divergence.
We thought so. Now it looks like we're both on our way off to escape to see if we farm some poultries here.
I hope there's something good. It always makes me anxious when these seeds start out utterly bad.
Just hearts from the tier 1 poultry there.
Oh, Rezephos. I'm actually not sure how to pronounce his name. That's not good.
We'll just go with Rez. I think Rez is fine.
He needs hearts right now.
Alright, so we got some bombs. Some delicious blueberries.
And 20 rupees. Like, this is starting out good. I have a good feeling about this.
Alright, saving and quitting. Probably doing the sanctuary route here. Gonna work our way over to Kakariko, most likely. Maybe see a Houlihan cave.
A burrito? Like, what is this seed? We're 1 minute in, and it's treating both runners pretty badly.
Yeah, this is V26 for you. Either you start with everything in 20 minutes and have to triple dip Turtle Rock, or you get nothing early and you finish it in 1 hour and 20 minutes. So for the runner's case, I hope we're looking at the latter here.
Same, but I'm willing to commentate as long as necessary.
Absolutely. Boss commentators in chat, though, that's not what we want, though. We want the triple dip T-Rock, so...
I think Turtle Rock is the only dungeon that can be triple dipped, isn't it?
It might be. I believe it's, if you count Mimic Cave, it's technically possible to have to quad dip Turtle Rock, theoretically. I don't know if someone wants to correct me there if I'm wrong, but wouldn't that be a seed? Yeah. Nothing much in Anxiety Cave.
Wow. Like, hopefully Kakariko Village is more rewarding for both runners.
Yes, indeed. Lost Woods not really providing much of value here either.
No wonder it's lost. No one wants to go in it because there's nothing there.
Exactly. Nobody's going northwest, southwest up in here.
I like how Rez just hesitated for a moment, thinking, do I really want this 20 rupees?
It is early. We do still have to get ripped off by the bottle vendor, so...
And King Zora later on as well.
That's right.
It's not a seed until you trade 500 rupees for 1.
I mean, really, absolutely. It's not rando until you give all your money away. Ooh, 300 rupees in Blind's hut, though. That's the first really decent thing.
Blind was rich. Blind had a lot of money in his time in the Light World, I guess. There was nothing but money in there.
Just a whole bunch of blue rupees.
Welcome to Randomizer, folks. Welcome to Randomizer.
This is absolutely thrilling, isn't it, chat? Oh my goodness. All these rupees.
Yeah, like, I hope they get something else. Like, what's that one item called? Like, you hold it by some sort of handle. It's kind of sharp. What's that one called?
Oh, well, there's something. You got some Zora kickers in the well.
Hey, some footwear that's not in Turtle Rock. I didn't know this version of the generator could do that.
Not much else, though. A whole lot more rupees, more capacity upgrades.
I guess it sort of makes sense that there was flippers in a well.
That's true. That's true. And red meringue off the merchant. I guess there's worse things you could spend 100 rupees on, but not particularly what you're looking for.
Yeah, like the blue boomerang.
The better boomerang, absolutely. DQ for TripleZed. No Sun and Belmont Wall Chicken. Just more money.
Oh, speaking of the chicken house, I actually did something hilarious in it recently. I threw one of the chickens at the walls, the bomb was going off, and the chicken went through the wall for some reason. And I haven't been able to reproduce it yet, but it was hilarious.
Oh, yeah. I've seen a couple of people with clips of that. It does seem to be, maybe not frame perfect, but tough to pull off.
It doesn't help, but it looks fun.
Oh.
The hook shot.
There we go. So hookshot is nice. This is a nice little piece of extra movement tech here that you can use, as well as combined with one other item, a few other possibilities, gives you access to the eastern part of Death Mountain here really early. So that's decent find here.
Yes. TripleZed so fast I didn't actually even see what's in the library.
I think it was
blue.
more blueberries. Yeah. More rupees at the race game. TripleZed doing a bit of a double take.
This seed is this village is extremely rich. This seed.
We might be going to Zora, guys. We have found flippers and about
bombs.
1,000 rupees. We might be going to Zora here, boys and girls.
Yes, early ripoff in this seed. And TripleZed's heading straight for the swamp place thing.
Yep, we are going to check out the dam. Interesting piece of routing here. I'm I think Stogietown was the first person I saw do it. I like to leave the dam for not my first trip down here so that I can wrap it in with Agnes Cave if it turns out that I'm still item short at the point I would think about doing that. But you certainly get it faster doing it this way, so there's arguments for doing it both sides.
Yeah, like this could route into going towards Mini Moldorm Cave as well.
Exactly. Yep. Those are really the your two options, player preference.
Especially if that hook shot. Oh, nice trick on Rez's part there, I see.
Yeah,
using the hook shot clip to go straight through the block.
That absolutely saves you a trip in and out of the dam.
I've actually never seen that trick done before, so that was actually pretty cool.
Okay. Always new tech to be found watching Randomizer. All right, going into Mini Moldorm Cave here. The hook shot makes this fairly easy.
Yes, the hook shot, for some reason, makes very short work of these things. If you can hit them.
When they're not living up to their Troll Dorm name. Okay,
looks like this cave is not proving to be very good so far.
Oh, no.
They've only got a handful of good items. This
that
is
heart
a troll
container is their first extra heart, too. Yeah, this is really looking like this is going to be a... I mean, V26 is definitely chain reaction heavy anyway, but this is really looking like that's going to be what we're looking at here.
Yes. It's going to be interesting. That's probably the right word.
Yes. Following the breadcrumbs here, making sure we check out the flipper spots. Both of our players on the way to Hobo.
It looks like Rez's movements are a little bit more efficient, so he's slowly catching up on TripleZed here.
Yep. Movement tech is a very underrated part of Link to the Past. You can save a lot of time with good movement. Oh!
Moon Pearl.
And the Cherry Jawbreaker on the Hobo.
Never heard it called that before. I'll have to remember that one.
Everything in Link to the Past is either eyes or food, so... Alright, assuming both players will be making their way over to the Zora area now.
And I think it might be the only choice available to them. Well, they could dip into, like, Eastern or a few other locations, but if they're already in the water, they might as well go straight to Zora.
TripleZed's going to head over
Ice Cave.
Check out Ice Rod Cave first, yeah.
Wow, like some route diversions. They're going somewhere
a little
different.
bit, yep.
Makes the commentary a little more exciting.
Yes, something more to talk about here. More rupees, of course.
The silvers. Ganon's going to be significantly easier.
Indeed.
2 or 3 hours from now, knowing this seed.
Silver.
And the
Cane
cave.
of Samaria. Okay.
They both went to different locations, but each found an important item.
So, Kane, so Rez not going to Ice Rod. Depending on where the flute is, it may be a while before he works his way back there. So that could be a problem for him.
Of course, he might not even need it. This could be one of those seeds where you don't even have to set foot in Turtle Rock or Misery Mire.
That is true. And anecdotally, I have run across that situation a lot in V26, it feels like.
Oh.
But of course, you wind up going into there all the time anyway.
For once, Zora didn't scam them out of 500 rupees with the fighter sword.
Indeed, the sharpened paper cutter right there from Zora.
I would not pay 500 rupees for a sword.
So it looks like Rez is going to take his newfound reusable weapon into the front part of Escape, which is a very smart play.
Yep. There are chests to be found. He knows there are items in there. Given that Sanctuary, decided to give him a burrito instead of, a heart container or a weapon.
And to answer the question in chat, yes, Link actually does swim faster than he walks. But however, it's very easy to get stuck on the corners of the land and on the walls, so you need to make sure your movement is good to not do that.
Because, as you know, this game has perfect hit detection on all its tiles.
Absolutely. Hit detection in this game is absolutely top-notch, except for, buttons and walls and everything else. The cape in the first chest of Escape. So
now we're starting to see some interesting items.
Indeed. We're a lamp away from Aga 1 here being a thing, logically.
Who needs logic? This is a primary tournament. Most of these players probably know the Dark Room strats.
That is true. However, Aga 1, if there is a Dark Room that some players don't know how to do, Aga 1 may be the one, because a lot of players are going to think, I'm going to exhaust the map looking for the lamp before I do Aghanim 1 anyway. So, although there are situations where something like lamp at, say, the pedestal, where you may want to still know how to do it.
It's always enjoyable when there's an unusual item at pedestal.
Indeed. We've seen some Festquetch items there in races over the last few days, which is always tense for the players and fun for us. So Rez going with the hookshot stun on the ball and chain guard here.
Oh, the Master Sword in Zelda's cell. That's an odd spot for it.
Indeed. Maybe that's how she got herself out.
Yeah, maybe she picked the lock with it or something.
More Aghanim 1, but Rez not sure. So Rez off to
Ice Cave?
Perhaps. This would be really good for him if that's what he's doing.
Because that could be a necessary item.
TripleZed, meanwhile, followed Rez into Escape, so he has his cape and will be picking up his Master Sword shortly.
And I imagine he'll be happy to see it. A weapon like that this early will definitely be an asset.
Indeed, especially with not finding hammer yet, upgraded sword is a huge, really huge for combat.
Meanwhile, TripleZed relied on just smashing a pot over the guard's head. Uh-oh.
Ooh, Rez.
Trouble. These crabs don't screw around.
No, they don't.
I think one despawned, however, so I guess that kind of helped them.
That helps, yeah.
They are the only enemy in the light world that can do 2 hearts of damage.
I suppose I'd never considered that, but yes, I believe that's true.
However, since they only have 4 hearts, that makes them super deadly.
Yeah. And yeah, Rez picking up his cane, so good for him. That's a potential troll later on that he's avoided here.
And yes, chat, this character that is on screen on both streams is totally Zelda.
Absolutely. Quick Mac chat there from TripleZed, so it looks like we have a red-blue pen at Eastern and crystals at the other 2 dungeons. I could not see if either of them were 5-6.
Yeah, these people are very fast at bringing up that map.
Looks like our tracker is all over it, and thanks a lot to Links-a-Lot for that.
Blue mail.
Blue mail again. At least we're getting some decent equipment here. Still, other than the hookshot and the flippers, though, not much for actual progression here. So it looks like Eastern Palace is going to hold the goods, much to Amazing Ampharos's dismay, wherever he is.
Who knows? Could be vanilla bow. That would be different. Because this early on, we don't know if this is a pedestal required seed.
That's right. And Armos tends to have an item in this place more often than not because he is locked behind an additional item.
Whether or not it's an item to actually get through him, that's the next story.
So yeah, I would expect that the lamp would be the big item that we would be expecting to get here. With flippers and the hook shot, that gives you access to the western part of Death Mountain once you get into the Dark World. So I would assume we're going to be finding the lamp in here.
But yes, there are 3 items to find in here, and they're already only finding the big key.
Okay. Moving on to the hook shot chest here.
The hook shot saves like 30 seconds, so it's good they found that early on. Unfortunately, I think the compass is there in vanilla? I'm not sure, actually. Or is it a key?
Is that the map? That the map, or is that the other one? I might have them backward. That is one of the dungeon item spots, vanilla, anyway.
Like, I haven't played this vanilla in a very long time, so...
Yeah, I do run no major glitches a little bit, and you don't get chests you don't need, so... And according to the chat, that is the vanilla map, so thank you, chat.
It's always nice when the chat is able to help us commentators. Oh, the flute!
The flute.
Well, there's Death Mountain access without the lamp right there.
Indeed.
Now things are getting exciting, because now they have options.
Indeed. But yeah, this is what we want to see here, are some options. This has been very linear. Both players have really been forced to basically do the same things here.
But that does show off their movement tech skills as well.
That's right. And they have essentially been neck and neck this entire time.
Meanwhile, TripleZed's going for a logic break here without the lamp. But it looks like he knows exactly where he needs to go.
This is one of the easier dark rooms to learn. This one in the trip up Death Mountain, probably the first 2 for new players to look at doing.
That's a good question, VTorp. We're not sure why he walked past the big chest. He might be just planning on looping around, however, and getting it.
Potentially. I mean, the worry, of course, is that he forgot that he picked up the big key.
And yeah, large chests are scary. Like, they're much bigger from Link.
Some guys just don't like large chests. Everyone has their,
Oh, an ice rod.
Logic broken ice rod. Not really a big deal because Trinex is also behind a dark room in Turtle Rock itself, so it doesn't really mean much.
And one of the worst dark rooms in my opinion, anyways.
All right, so it looks like TripleZed is going to go activate his flute, and I would assume that both our players will be taking that pretty much directly up to Death Mountain.
Yeah, that is what I would do.
The other potential play, the other play you could make if you wanted to gamble a little bit would be to go to the desert area and check out what's on the ledge in Agon's Cave. But Death Mountain certainly seems like the right way to go.
Plus, it's not like they could get the item on the ledge anyway, so checking it right now might not be good routing.
Yep, no, absolutely. It would you'd definitely be gambling on something in Aghanim, but considering how straightforward this has been, I don't really see either player feeling that they need to do that.
He only gives me money, so checking him's not very good. And here we are with the swag duck.
Everybody get your swag ducks in chat.
I don't know the song someone made up for this, so I'm not going to sing it.
Nobody wants to hear me sing, so... TripleZed on his way to save the old man here.
Looks like Rez is doing much the same. It's pretty amazing that, other than a brief divergence, they're back on the same track.
Indeed. Yeah, there just hasn't been a lot that the seed has given them to do, other than what they've been forced into here.
Unfortunately, because the room is completely dark, there's not really much for us to talk about. Other than, ooh, there's a sparkle. Oh, TripleZed pulled it off.
I always call this guy Gary Old Man Ack.
Oh, but... I think that was a fairy in that one.
Yeah, fairy in a bottle.
With their low health, that might actually save them.
If anybody wants to take any bets about one of these guys trying to do a death warp later with that fairy.
Isn't that like 100%? Oh. Rez getting blocked by the squirrel. I don't know what they're actually called, but they're squirrels, so...
Yeah, those dead rocks.
They can only be killed by, like, one thing in the entire game. The Quake medallion seems to mess them up pretty good.
Yeah, you can also powder them and then kill them as long as they're not frozen.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Always learning new things. Oh, a shield and yet another piece of heart.
Yeah, and following up on a couple of the comments from chat, I've also always said about dead rocks is that the man or woman who programmed them was both a brilliant programmer and an enormous jerk.
Oh, they don't seem to act like anything else in the game. They're nigh indestructible. They seem to read your movement. Oh, a glove.
It's so bad, but it helps the runners out a lot.
We can set aside our complaining about the dead rocks or whatever they're called for a moment to discuss the power glove. We're about to see a bomb jump, hopefully.
And again, another chat question. So the level 1 shield, yes, the level 1 shield will block spears, arrows, or rocks. As long
Things
as
you rarely see later on.
Indeed, yep.
It's also a nice shade of blue, so it has that going for it.
Absolutely. I mean, Link's got to be fashionable here. He's got to blend in with that terrific blue male banana hat combo.
Dead rock trolling, even... It's like Spiral Cave is the next destination on their agenda.
Indeed. I don't think Power Glove gets them much. It technically would have gotten them Zora, but actually I already had the flippers, so never mind that. So if Spiral Cave doesn't have the goods, I think we're off to Agana.
Yeah, like just quickly thinking about it in my head, that's one of their few options.
Thank you, AA. Yes, the back of Escape as well.
There's so many locations in this game, it is very hard to keep track of them all. Oh, we have a sync. And then we're desynced immediately. Oh, nope, they picked the same spot.
The speed.
And no, Chad, I doubt they're colluding. This seed has been extremely linear. Oh yeah, they can do Sick Kid now too, because they have a bottle.
Yeah, okay, so there's a few things that have opened up here.
This might be the most linear seed I've ever seen.
At least for the beginning, yeah, it actually might be for me too.
Oh, another bottle, the Titan's Mitts. Getting rid of that old power glove 2 minutes after getting it.
Titan's Mitts. Alrighty, so... that's your Dark World access. So, despite all the early hints we got, we do not need to do Aghanim 1, as it turns out.
And oh wait, I guess you wouldn't have to do it at all now.
Yeah, with the flippers you can access the east side as well, so...
the dream has died. But the dream of Sick Kid giving bad items never will die.
But the other thing we can look forward here to is that now, as Christos just said, we have options now at this point here, so we'll see what these players choose to do with their newfound gloves.
Yes, and it looks like we have some divergence.
Yeah, so it looks like Rez is off to the Mire area, and TripleZed is off to the Village of Outcasts.
Yes, finally, 2 different things to discuss at the same time.
So I definitely saw Pod as a 5/6 and a green pendant in Swamp, I believe.
And blue pendant in Thieves Town.
Okay.
Fun. And Meyer Shed is unideal.
Yeah. Not much in Meyer Shed. I guess Rez is going to take a look at the Meyer medallion here. It is Quake.
Well, I guess that'll shake things up then.
Oh, the puns are strong, everybody.
Was my pun that bad? Looks like I'm being booed out of commentary here.
All right, nothing coming out of Skull Woods just yet here for TripleZed. Key, we'll see if we see a bomb jump here. Ooh, heart and a half. Won't anymore. Oh,
he's gonna risk it. He has one shot at this. Will the troll Ormsby Trolly?
All right, we got it.
Almost. Oh, the Bombos. We don't know if that's needed yet.
No, we don't. That might be needed for Turtle Rock, might be needed for Ice Palace access.
Oh, I don't know if he died intentionally there or not.
Again, there's your... I'm assuming that was probably an intended as a death warp and forgot about the fairy.
It looks like he'll just check out the rest of the place while he's here now.
Can't get into the back without Fire Rod, so we are checking out the vanilla big key chest.
Well, it could have the Fire Rod in it. I believe he's only collected one item thus far.
I believe there were
two in this
place. I believe the race that just happened a little while ago had the Fire Rod here, actually.
Oh,
tempered.
Well, it's sort of fiery, kinda.
That's really nice. That's a really nice... The master to tempered difference is a really nice equipment advantage for TripleZed here.
It's gigantic.
And Rez diving into Thieves Town.
But yes, now it's starting to shape up and become a race.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, this is really that's really nice for TripleZed. He's gonna check the bumper cave since he already has the cape.
Meanwhile, Rez's gamble is so far not paying off.
Just two succulent wet dripping hams on the bumper cave.
Meanwhile, Chad is asking where the cane was. It was in the Ice Rod Cave, actually. Meanwhile, TripleZed is now into the Village of Outcasts to find absolutely nothing, but still.
The D for Rez.
The bow. That might not be so good for Rez because TripleZed is heading right towards that, probably right after he's done checking the rest of town.
We'll see. We'll see if TripleZed decides not to go in here without the hammer to risk leaving something behind in there in Pendant Thieves or not.
Yes, there's a lot of on-the-spot thinking you have to do some of these seeds, and I think this is one of them.
Probably can't, even as a pendant and without the hammer, you probably can't put Thieves off too long regardless of the situation that you're in. It's just too quick with 4 potential items in it for a dungeon. But it does look like TripleZed is going to leave here without doing Thieves.
Oh, but he looks like he might head towards the frog, but he's not.
Probably going to do the digging game first since you can't bring a follower to the digging game.
Yes, I recently learned that and internally groaned as I did that mistake.
Yeah.
Maybe the operator's just afraid you'd have the frog dig for you or something.
Yeah, I am sure it was to prevent some sort of weird programming glitch that they found. But yeah, that's it's definitely something that a lot of new players learn the hard way.
Oh, a buried mirror.
So that's complicated to say the least now for TripleZed because that's a big progression item that he has just gotten, and that'll put him further away from coming back here to Thieves potentially.
But that also opens up 3 or 4 good options that he could take.
That's right.
And only one of them's probably going to be the right one.
Although the other flip side of that here is that he may take the frog home and then immediately head back over to thieves from here, or he may
do
take
purple chest.
or exactly and put himself further away.
Meanwhile, the dwarves, they'll probably make money knowing this rando.
Rez
I predicted that one. They are not hammer dwarves at all. They are money dwarves. Somehow they hammered a piece of crystal into money.
I guess that makes them alchemists. I don't know.
Maybe.
But we're definitely doing the purple chest here for TripleZed, which is tough.
And you'll undoubtedly get that one cave that's on the way as well.
Indeed, yep. We'll be doing Stumpy in the Grove Cave here.
Meanwhile, Rez is about to engage Blind. Well, he's engaging him now. Thankfully, Blind is the one boss in the game that doesn't care what you hit him with. He takes the same damage from basically anything.
That's right. And if you hit him as soon as he's available to be hit every time, you actually will get the same pattern out of him. He is not random if you do that correctly. So I think Rez missed the quote-unquote task kill by a little bit, but still really clean and very nicely done on his end.
Yes, that was an excellent battle. Meanwhile, that cave holds garbage.
And yes, I believe Chad is correct. It looks like there is an item in the big chest in there, so that will be at the back of Rez's mind.
For better or worse. There could be anything in there. That said, the odds of that chest having a progression item are comparatively low.
That's right. I mean, these are the types of plays you have to make within the randomizer, really. Sometimes you just have to, that this spot is too far out of my way. If that has what I need, then so be it. But
and yeah, I think all of Blind's texts are trolls, so they're not a hint or anything. They're just there as a joke.
Okay, so nothing in Gary's lunchbox here for TripleZed. Looks like he is heading over to Hype Cave. So come on, chat, get your hypes. I don't care what channel they're from.
Yes.
Get your hype emotes in there. Let's go. Hype Cave is not dead in V26. I want to see you believe.
That's all the hype emotes I got.
So we've got money, heart piece,
Bottle.
Oh,
That wasn't very
cave.
hype. That was more like mild disappointment cave.
Oh, hype cave. Come on.
There was one seed that I played that had like 3 of the 4 bottles in there. It's like, what?
Did Sick Kid have anything?
He had 20 rupees, which, yeah.
Yeah.
No wonder he's sick. He can't afford to pay for a doctor. Not that Hyrule seems to have any, but still.
All right, TripleZed taking his mirror up to Death Mountain here. Going to check out Spectacle Rock and presumably head into Hera here.
It seems like the overworld in general are not very favorable.
That seems to be my impression. I think you're still overall most likely to get more items in the overworld than in dungeons, but I believe a lot of those items are from your initial 20 minutes on the items that are open to you. If you take those locations out, I really think V26 you really need to start focusing on dungeons after that.
Meanwhile, TripleZed heading straight into Tower of Hera, checking out the first basement. And it has a key.
All right.
But he doesn't have a fire source.
Yes.
Does he?
We're going to see if we're fire locked out of Hera here. And we are.
I Yeah, because the big key would have to be in the basement at this point, wouldn't it?
That's right. Burna is interesting though. We have Cape and Burna. We have bottles. No hammer for Spike Cave, but if the hammer shows up pretty soon, it's something to remember.
And no, Spike Cave has not been checked. Neither player has the hammer, unfortunately, to even get in. And they haven't even had an opportunity to get to it even if they had the hammer.
Heading over to the Dark World side of Death Mountain here.
What was in Lumberjack? I don't think it was important.
No, I believe it was a small amount of rupees, but it was definitely something junk for sure.
Meanwhile, TripleZed had flubbed that clip a little bit, unfortunately.
That clip seems to be one of those things where I get it in a row like 50 times, and then all of a sudden I'll get 10 in a row where I miss it. I don't know what it is about that hookshot clip.
Same with bomb jumps. I was practicing the other day. I was getting them like 9 times out of 10 in Ice Palace and Fen. When I go to race against someone, I try it 10 times and miss every single time.
Yeah, that's random for you. Yeah, I got the Bloomerang, the far superior Boomerang. Actually,
blue. It matches Link's outfit now.
That's right. It actually is useful in a couple of spots in Ganon's Tower, particularly if you have it.
Meanwhile, Hookshot Cave coming up. Maybe this will prove to be a bit more hype. And TripleZed's... Oh, he's checking the medallion. Oh, Quake. We have double Quake, I believe.
Yeah, double Quake. I mean, Bombos could still be our fire source entry into ice.
Yes, that is true.
Actually, we have flippers, we have Titan's Mitts. They could get in there. Now, they would need the hammer to finish it, of course. But
meanwhile, Hookshot Cave, while healthy, it seems, is not providing much in the way of progression.
So the bow was in Thieves Town, which TripleZed decided to bypass, presumably because he doesn't have the hammer.
Yes, they've each seemed to bypass something important to their progression this year. I guess the Tempered Sword isn't really progression, but it makes your life a lot easier.
Right, and not having Bombos could be a problem for Rez too if we have like something like Hammer and Ice Palace. So TripleZed going to go check out the very unprofitable Mire Shed here.
Yes, it's taken him quite a while to get to this point. But all that is here is disappointment, unfortunately.
So it'll be interesting to see what TripleZed decides to do from here. He doesn't have the bow, so I'm sure Pod is not going to be towards the top of what he wants to do. I imagine we might see TripleZed head towards Ice Palace and Rez head towards Pod when they're finished with these overworld checks.
Meanwhile, Rez is going into a very short-lived Tower of Hera segment because, as we know, the Master Key is in the basement.
All right, yeah, TripleZed going to take the backdoor entrance into Desert here and see what's up. Very possible we're boost locked in here.
Oh, Rez is upset at that chest and is hacking it to pieces. I would be upset too.
Okay, so small key on the torch is interesting. So
Boots locked.
yeah, we might be. If the big key is in here, we can kill Landmolas. Except that we have a fire source for the back room yet.
Yes.
So
it's all too easy to forget that you need to light those 4 torches and make the wall room.
yeah, that's right. TripleZed going to go out and check out Checkerboard Cave, which Rez was unable to check when he was here. He did not yet have his mirror.
And what could it be? The hammer! TripleZed now has a commanding lead, I think.
He doesn't have the bow yet, but hopefully that hammer will lead him to tackle Thieves Town. If he decides to go there, that's very nice for him.
He's not checking out Agnes at all. I guess he could be a wise move. Uh-oh. Rez made a slight error there.
Oh.
But there was nothing in that chest anyway, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah, he'll just be heading back down here. Just a small time loss on going down the stairs. TripleZed loading up on some potions.
Oh, he's getting more and more upset at these chests holding nothing.
Okay, yeah, and this also makes sense for TripleZed's part. With the hammer, he can now completely... Oh, he's changed his mind.
Looks like he's heading to Thieves Town.
It looks like he is.
Gonna find... Plus, we don't know what's in the big chest there yet. We will find out soon, hopefully. You know, Rez is a complete monster, like full speed heartbeats.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
It's almost tempting to ask the restreamer to switch the audio.
Alright, beep strat's averted for now.
Whew.
But TripleZed definitely making the right call here. He's going to go get his bow, and of course, if the big chest in here winds up having something important, that's a humongous advantage for him.
Yes, especially if it's Quake or the Fire Rod. Or the book, that would give him a few options as well.
Right. The medallion or something along those lines I think would be the most damaging for Rez. Something like the fire rod that sort of, you know, lets you get into the back of Skull Woods and all that sort of stuff is a little less worrisome because you're just going to be forced to come back here and check it sooner. But something like the Quake medallion would really put a hurt on Rez if that's what it was.
But it looks like Rez is doing many of the same actions TripleZed has.
Rez looks like he will be picking up his hammer after he realizes he's locked at a desert.
Trying to use that near angrily. As he clips into the cliff. I hate when that happens. It looks like you're fine, but you're just one pixel off, and it flings you back across dimensions.
Yeah, I think the runners, in terms of overall where they are, I think they're pretty close with Zed choosing to come in here. But like I said, the big chest in here is a bit of a wild card that could potentially pay off in Zed's favor.
There he goes.
So interesting to see where they go from here. I would be going to Palace of Darkness from here if I was Rez. We'll see if that's what he chooses to do.
And then maybe tie that into, after that's done, warp back to Eastern Palace and wrap it up as well.
Yeah, Eastern...
I don't think that was a pendant. So... Oh wait, it is a pendant, so you might not do that after all.
I believe we got all 3 items out of Eastern as well.
But it could be it could be a pedestal seed. We don't know yet.
I mean, you have to admit, Vitorp, Agana is kind of a jerk for living so far away from everybody. I mean, really.
Yeah, like, he lives in the middle of the desert, and he doesn't even have air conditioning. And yes, we are back into beat percent.
Indeed.
And, Rez is definitely good at that. Desert is boots locked, unfortunately, chat, so neither player can do it.
Yeah, without fire and without boots, it's pretty unlikely you'd be able to do much in there. So he definitely could have dove in to see if he could have pulled an item out of it, but hedging his bets that he wasn't going to be able to do much in there.
Meanwhile, we're in pod to see if it's bow locked. He might have the bow, but it could have been bow locked. Yes, it is bow locked, so Rez made the right call earlier to acquire the bow.
Absolutely. And well, it's not going to be relevant in this particular seed because both of our runners now have their bows.
He didn't realize that he didn't have a key.
There's a bit of an interesting thing with the key logic in Pod right now, where I'm not, without getting into the technical details of it, because of the safeties for not key locking yourself, the logic only considers the first 3 chests available to not be locked behind the bow. So even if you can get to the back of Pod without the bow, any items you find back there can't lead you to the bow. So that's really interesting for if you choose to dive bowless Pod, the information that you can get out of it right now.
Meanwhile, looks like TripleZed has elected not to fight blind. He seems to be hedging on the hopes that this is not a pedestal seed.
Indeed, I'm assuming the 4.
And Rez drops down. But I believe he has a couple fairies, so he is fine.
So I didn't see, did Zed not bring the maiden back to Blind's room at all, or did
Correct,
he just
he
get on the fight?
that battle completely.
Okay.
He mirrored it. It could be a risky gamble. There is a small chance at important items on that pedestal. Logic-wise, it can't be the lamp anymore, but it could still be something like the fire rod.
And TripleZed's going into Ice Palace, and if I was in Zed's shoes, again, either here or Pod is where I would be going to. So I like this play from TripleZed.
Yeah, they're both making pretty good plays.
Yeah, the early game definitely forced them to do things in a very specific order, but now that they're actually starting to get some items and get some options, judging on what they each have in their inventory, I like what they've chosen to do here so far.
And Pod does have very good chest density, so Rez is definitely in the right place to find the fire rod.
Fire rod.
I think the pedestal seed dream is slowly but surely dying.
Boots and the Meyer medallion, I think, the only things that, or something that leads directly to them, are the only things that could be on there, I think.
At this point, I believe you are correct. Rez finds a key and something else in the dark that I didn't see. Could be good, could be bad.
Little bit more logic breaking here. The fire rod's also really nice if Rez chooses to finish Pod off for the turtle room. Having the fire rod is really helpful. Looks like Rez is going for a hammer up here.
Oh, you better hurry. Nope, there wasn't enough time.
All right, looks like he's abandoning this idea.
He was unable to get lined up in time, unfortunately.
Yeah. He does have the mirror, so the hammer yump doesn't really do too much for him.
He's thinking.
I guess deciding whether or not he really wants to go in here, but he's decided to take the plunge.
And yes, chat, pedestal can be ironically the book. It even has text on the pedestal that you can only read once you have the book.
Yeah, I think Ack and Sonic Cam, a couple other people called it. Probably pulling up his map for the Pod Dark Room is why he was pausing there.
I wouldn't blame him. That it is, I want to say, the second most difficult Dark Room.
It certainly is not fun. The Kadongos in here are a full heart of damage regardless of what mail you have. They qualify as an environmental trap for some reason. And they can really gang up on you if you're unlucky.
It seems like Rez has putting that probable map of his to good use.
So it looks like Rez might be a little bit lost here. I think he's a little too north of where he needs to be.
Yeah, he's slightly misaligned, I believe. But he has found a chest again. Not that it helped him, but I've lost track how many items he has acquired so far in this dungeon.
So he's unless it's Kadongo gets him at the end here, he's through the worst of it.
Oh, I think.
Ooh,
Oh, that was close.
One of them was close. One of them tried.
That would be saddening if that hit. Red shield over in Ice Palace. Not useful for regression, but it blocks fireballs. Some of them.
I believe that's what they're called, Ak. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, as I often am, but I believe that's what they're called.
You know, I just realized that Zelda 3 doesn't have Dodongos.
Yeah, I know. They're definitely not Dodongos. I know that in this game. They're not called the Dongos. Yeah. All right, there you go. Vtorp dropping it. Thanks, Vtorp.
The community is full of knowledge to help us poor commentators.
Picking up the big key here for TripleZed. And yes, of course, everybody who loves running this randomizer that is just taking over your life, be sure to thank Vtorp, one of the primary administrators, programmers, jack of all trades for this.
For eating all our free time ever.
Exactly. And every time you get a bee in a bottle, think of Vtorp.
Like, I discovered Randomizer for the first time last month, and I've been hooked ever since. Meanwhile, Rez has learned that he is out of magic and has to do things the old-fashioned way.
Doing the sexy statue push.
Meanwhile, the Silvers take care of those mimics pretty handedly.
And yeah, Rez not having any magic here is really interesting because he can no longer take advantage of his fire rod here, so...
I hope he's practiced these dark rooms.
TripleZed looked like he missed the initial spin here on Cold Stare, so these puffs are going. This cotton candy is going to be all over the place.
Which is unfortunate with no fire rod to do massive damage to him in a hurry. But it looks like they're corralling themselves just fine.
Cold Stare, being a bro.
He's like, okay, Link, I'm going to help you out. I'm just going to go into this corner for you while you bludgeon me. And we have a mushroom. There could be something cool in the fetch quest. Also, Darth Sitherland, I can't pronounce your name, but the silver arrows in some rooms can lag due to the sparkles. Thus, that's why players are allowed to switch.
Rez, yeah, realizing the no magic here.
He's finding them, but can he find them before he dies? Oh. And there's a danger of him flipping one and then flipping it back over with the hammer if he doesn't score a direct hit.
That's right. And for those people who aren't overly familiar with... he does have another fairy, though, I believe, right? Yes, he does.
Yep. This is his last fairy.
And for anyone who's not overly familiar with the combat, one of the problems with enemies like the guards and the turtles is that they really like to just get into your sprite and then just sit there. And so as soon as your iframes are out, they hit you again. So it's really easy to get comboed, especially when you can't see what you're doing.
He's slowly getting chipped down by him.
Yeah. I'm not sure why he's swinging his sword. I mean, when there's one actively running into him.
I think he's trying to hammer it, then kill it with the sword to avoid reflipping it. And Node and Bopes, the Speed Gaming channels are not linked in that way. I don't think that's possible under Twitch, unfortunately.
Here we go. So Rez got it. Just has to brave the last few turtles in the long straight hallway, and then of course get through Helmet Cat.
He found them.
Okay. Don't flip them back over, Rez.
Oh, he's in this room.
All right, we need a perfect Helmosaur here.
So no fireballs, no tail shenag. Oh, there's a fireball. Run, Rez, run!
Moving well out of the way.
The safety corner.
Yeah, just nice and easy.
Oh, he has to run again. Thankfully, while his mask is on, Helmosaur King can only do one action at a time, be it movement, fireballs, or his tail swing.
That's right. And we do have silver arrows for the last phase.
And chat, I believe it's the left corner that's the Patty corner. The right corner is unnamed, I believe.
Nicely done by Rez.
Other than the Helmosaur King trolling with his fireballs a bit, he did quite well.
A very nice fight from Rez. And if you're in a low equipment or low health situation against a boss fight, really Rez showed you, like, that's carbon copy how you should do it. Be slow, take your time, don't rush anything.
Yeah, and maybe we can call the right corner the Rez corner from now on.
Absolutely.
There's expert use of it. Rez was thinking there for a moment.
Yeah, I'm assuming he's considering whether or not he wants to go back in and kill Armos here.
And the answer is no. The odds of it being a pedestal seed are quite low at this point.
Indeed. It is a bit of a time sink to go in and kill Armos for just one item when you have the rest of the place cleared out. So
even with good play, it would take a couple good minutes.
Exactly. So Rez off to Skullwood.
Yep. Hopefully in the Skullwoods. He can full clear it now as well. He has that over TripleZed at the moment.
For the pedestal, I believe we are down to Quake or the boots as being the two options that could still potentially be there. Or as always, something like the shovel or whatever that leads directly to.
Yes, I was about to bring that up. That could very well be the shovel. Or it could be the magic powder, which could be turned into the mad batter for something critical as well.
Or the Book of Medora, of course.
Which would be funny. And White Wolfos, they are both doing, I think, comparing their items, they're about evenly matched.
I would say that's probably pretty fair. I think they actually probably are really close. Zed does have a slightly longer dungeon taken care of than Rez. But of course, we know Ice Palace had nothing important in it, so Rez may very well wind up getting to-go mode ice.
Yes, he might be able to just go straight through it. He won't have to rely on the... He already has the fire rod, so that will make things a little bit easier. But now TripleZed has the fire rod, and he's probably questioning why did he do ice first.
Rez about to pick up his delicious bacon sword.
Yes, I imagine after nearly an hour, he will be happy to see it. Oh, that hand almost... Did that hand just phase through the door?
Yeah, that was weird. That Gib bro might have actually damaged him out of that Wallmaster grab. It was interesting.
It's always handy when the undead does exactly what you want them to.
And for the pedestal chance, yeah, 7% is close. I believe in the 100,000 seeds that they released when the logic came out for V26. If I remember right, because I was just looking at it the other day, it's about 5.6%.
The odds of having to go to the pedestal aren't exactly friendly. I think the odds of having to do a green pendant are probably higher.
It's a good question. I'm trying to think if I've had more green pendant than pedestal seeds in my relatively short rando career so far. It's probably pretty close.
Also, I think Chad came up with better puns in regards to that Wallmaster thing faster than I could. Meanwhile, Rez coming right up on Mafia.
All right, nice from Rez there, getting the mummy into the spike. Hitting an enemy into spikes generally does the same class of damage that a gold sword spin would.
Yes, class 4 damage. Unfortunately, Mafia is immune to that sort of thing.
Yeah, an interesting play from TripleZed, not going directly to Helmasaur as opposed to the Dark Maze. He may, if he's only missing one item, he may be hoping that Helmasaur has it.
Oh, it looks like Rez effortlessly took down Mafia.
Yeah, Mafia being really nice there, letting him get lots of fire rod shots in.
Yeah. I don't like that fight much myself. I always mess it up and die a few times. Because I believe there's a minor glitch where if you hit Mafia at the wrong time, it'll touch the spikes and take no damage.
Yeah.
Which is a little unfortunate.
Yeah, I don't know what to classify it as, if it's technically a glitch. The reason why they did it was because obviously you don't want Mothula, if you hit him into the spikes, taking gold sword spin damage for the casual player. So their reason around that was to have that class of damage do 0, which isn't the best problem solving I could think of for that, but that's why that exists.
But in terms of dungeons, Rez has quite the lead, but I think TripleZed can still catch up. If this squirrel Earl will get out of Rez's way.
Yeah, so Rez, knowing that he was fire locked out of Hera earlier, is on his way there.
No, if you spin Mafia, at least in the English version, Mafia will take 0 damage.
That's right. In the randomizer, they fixed that because you can actually have the gold sword going into Moth. But I think the developers assumed that, vanilla, you're not really going to have gold sword going into Mothula, so they didn't worry about that problem. But yes, if you do glitch the gold sword into the Mothula fight into the actual physical cart or the original ROM, you will not do any damage to Mothula.
Like, the only case in the original where you would have the gold sword is if you intentionally dipped out of Skull Woods with the fire rod to go do, like, Ice Palace.
To do Ice Palace and Mire, yeah, right, exactly.
And no, every race, everyone gets locked behind a squirrel.
Looks like Rez realizing... Okay, I'm not sure if he was going for the swag boomerang strat there or not, but without boots, you can't do it, so...
Unfortunately. And Dragon Pike, and like, what did these runners do to you to go through that hell? Like, what did they do to you?
TripleZed on gonna make the play on Swamp Palace here.
It's a solid play.
Green pendant, so 7 items in total, but not a required crystal. And he does still have Hera to finish off. So a small gamble here.
But it could be a big one.
Indeed.
But we also have to remember that technically by logic, both players are kind of sequence broken at the moment. They don't have the lamp. Sure, they have a fire source that got them through Pod just fine. But I believe by logic you need the lamp for those dark rooms.
Yeah, that's right. Vitor mentioned it earlier. I don't believe either of our runners have checked Agana, so that lamp could very well just be sitting there waiting for them.
Yep, and I imagine if they ever go to check him, they will be kicking themselves. If they need to. They might have Turtle Rock's Dark Room practiced. Or Misery Myers.
Yeah, the Turtle Rock Dark Room is not too bad once you sort of get used to the feel of it. It does take a little bit of practice to get used to how the feel of moving on the platform, but it's not too bad. The Mire Dark Room, if you don't get that block on the first try, that room can just be completely terrible.
And no, they are not in go mode quite yet. They are missing a few more things. They need the Quake Medallion to do 2 important dungeons.
So nothing in swamps so far for TripleZed, although still coming into the meat of the place. Rezephos off to Moldorm here.
And yes, desert is boots locked. Meanwhile, we're here for the worst fight in video game history. But Rez seems to have him figured out. Oh! Outmaneuvered. That's not the thing you want to see, him going crazy. But we get to hear the cool boss music again, so it's worth it.
Oh,
Rez is 0-2 in Moldorm's favor.
If there's anything to pick up from TGH's playing is not in his last race, it's not this, Rez. Don't copy this.
Yes, this is not the maneuver you wish to copy. Ah? Did you just see that?
Yeah, yeah.
Did Rez get bounced back up to the upper level?
Indeed. If you try to jump down there when Moldorm is in the way, you can bounce back up. In fact, if you jump down and you hit him at an angle, you can actually get knocked directly into the pit.
I did not know that could happen. That's like the third thing I've learned in this run so far. Meanwhile, Swamp does not seem to be the right play so far. Other than that mirror shield, I guess. But that's not needed to get through Turtle Rock, so...
No. It is a nice little safety to have, but definitely not required, especially not for runners of this caliber.
Especially not when you have a cape and the blue thing that I can't remember the name of.
Yeah, the cane of Brian, the sugar cane, yeah.
I prefer the magic cape, it lags a lot less.
It's true. Erna does use less magic, which is the nice advantage of it, but
this is a race, you gotta go fast, you can't waste the frames.
Rez is gonna, much like you, gonna choose the cape here to get through Spike Cave to find his
Unfortunately, it wasn't very good use of magic or time. It rarely is. I've never found anything good in Spike Cave in all my runs. All, like, 6 of them.
Alright, pretty nice Argus fight here from TripleZed.
Yes, that's a good point from chat. Why are there 2 invincibility items? Well, they both do 2 different things. The Cane of Erna puts a little projectile around you that does fighter sword damage, I believe. And the Magic Cape can let you phase through certain objects.
Alright.
Oh, we're at Agna.
Yeah.
I finally remembered, I should visit this guy.
So Vitorp called Boots or Lamp here earlier. Let's see if he's right. Oh.
No. It's kind of red like Boots, but you can't wear a heart container on your feet.
Just a lot of love from Magna. Just thanking you for visiting.
Well, there is one old man left in the game that could give something cool.
That's right. TripleZed looks like he's off to check that now.
In fact, it's very likely that one of the 3 items or so that they need is there. Where's it to? Oh, it's a book.
The book.
TripleZed can now read an ancient dead language at will.
So that's very, very interesting. So they already have desert access, but that does, of course, give you the two monuments.
Yes, that book, not only can they do a pedestal check, but they can check both the tablets now.
Oh, and Rezephos is going to be doing some logic break here. Rez is going to take the small key into desert. Now, we know that the small key... Actually, no, it's not. The small key is on the torch. So Rez is going to go take this key backwards here, and he is going to check the 2 chests on the right side. And so we are.
Can the logic account for this? The player doing this?
It does not. This is considered a logic break doing this.
Of course, I don't think Rez ever checked initially, so he might have been checking there and might have... Nope, he's not having second thoughts. He's going to commit to this course of action.
Absolutely. And Chad is right. This can't be the boots, logically speaking, but this could be Quake. So we'll have to see if this winds up being anything.
Or it could be the single arrow. We haven't seen that yet. You know, the most trollish item they could ever include in a box. Oh, another heart container. I don't know about you, but I like having lots of heart containers because I'm bad at this game.
I mean, I would certainly have too many of them than too few. That's for sure.
Oh, the big key. Fingers crossed for Rez finding something cool in that big chest.
Okay.
Is he not going to check the big chest?
I think we have both items, I believe.
Oh yeah, there's only 2 in desert.
Yeah. So Rez is going to go into Ice Palace. This is really good for TripleZed because we know there's nothing in here, and Rez is not going to be able to go mode it now. So that's really nice for Zed.
But yes, thank you, chat, for reminding me. Trying to remember which dungeons have what items is why I use a chest tracker.
So I'm trying to think of what we have available still. So TripleZed, I believe Ether Tablet has not been checked yet. I don't think Zed did Left Side Swamp.
I don't think Bombos has been checked either.
Okay,
check. Had to think there for a moment.
We still have Fat Fairy, as Chad is pointing out. I don't think Armos has an item. I believe we have the 3 items out of Eastern.
Yeah, all 3 items were collected.
Okay, he did check. Okay, thank you, Chad. So Bombos wasn't. Zed did check Bombos apparently before he came up here.
Yeah, that's how fast these runners are. You blink and you miss something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because this is the primary tournament, and the skill ceiling is quite high, as is the speed ceiling. Well, speed cap would be a better way to phrase that, I think.
Yeah, so Catfish is still open. Chad is actually saying that Eastern actually does still have an item in it, so that's also a possibility.
We must have miscounted. Good thing we're not tracking.
That's right. And once again, props to Cernlink a lot.
Yes. He is quite adept at tracking. I believe he tracked on a prior race I commentated on.
Zora, I believe, was runners checked Zora very early. Flippers was one of the very few early progression items we had, so.
But yes, there are quite a few locations to check, and I hope TripleZed does a pedestal check, because I want to see what's in there. Oh, he is fulfilling our wishes. Could this be it?
All right, chat, here we go.
Pedestal, move aside, force animals. Bugnet. No, the pedestal LC dream is completely dead. It has died a disgraceful end, unfortunately.
There will be no Swaggin' today. The Genia net will sleep on the pedestal forever.
But if a key item's not there, then where's the boots? Probably in Turtle Rock or somewhere dumb.
Yeah, probably.
Seeds with boots and Turtle Rock make me grumpy.
Of course, we would still have to find Quake somewhere first.
Yeah.
We are starting to run out of spots here a little bit for stuff that we can actually do.
They haven't been the Catfish. It could be Vanilla Quake there. I believe that's where you get in the vanilla game.
It is, yep. And I don't believe either of them actually checked the pyramid item either. So I'm assuming that'll, with 2 item locations relatively close together, that will be something that our runners will look at doing.
Rez is getting his butt handed to him for some reason. I hate these ice floors because As you know, the ice physics are perfectly coded in this game.
Oh, I mean, name me a video game that doesn't have fantastically coded ice physics. I mean, really.
Good point. But what could be here in this cave that usually has absolutely nothing? It's more absolute nothing.
I believe we have had 3 pedestal seeds so far, White Wolfos, between the main draw and the secondary draw.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Uh-oh. Rez has realized a bit of a thing. But thankfully spikes don't really hurt all that much. And yes, Spike Cave was checked. It was garbage. It was 20 rupees or... No, I think it was actually 5.
Yeah, 5 rupees, yeah.
This seed has not proven to be kind in the more out-of-the-way locations.
Okay, Sean, actually, the randomizer also shuffles enemy drop groups, so that may not actually be the case in the randomizer.
Yeah,
That's still there.
Intro, I think he would take just about any item at this point. And we have a catfish check from TripleZed. Good thing I looked over there.
Oh, Rez. Taking the anti-fairy to the
Rez.
face.
Oh, we have arrow upgrade that TripleZed's like, nope, I do not want this.
Yep.
I don't. Go away, Crib. Even with blue mail, they still do quite a wallop for a light world opponent.
So this is probably a thick fairy chest.
Yes, the double-chested fairy. The odds are extremely high that something important is there now.
Yeah, it really is. We're really only down to 1 or 2 other isolated locations if both the Pyramid Ledge and Thick Fairy are both nothing. So Rez electing to duck out of Ice Palace from here.
An unusual choice, but they may feel they're not equipped to handle it right now.
Probably because he's out of magic, so he would have had to dip anyway.
Now where is he going?
Hammer Pegs, I believe.
Oh,
which is
not bad. It's very out of the way for what he was doing, but...
Right, well, we haven't seen this yet, so...
You can feel the anticipation in the air.
Yeah, these are 3 locations that are all going to come back to back to back here for stuff that we're looking at. There's Quake. And the boots!
What?
What?
What? And Rez signs the lamp. Well, I guess... So, they both have to do the opposite action of each other now. Because each of them has something necessary. But what the hell is this seed?
Ladies and gentlemen, TripleZed has entered Go mode.
Or like Super Go mode. But Rez better catch up fast. I think at this point, TripleZed is most certainly in the lead.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be tough for Rez here, especially having to dip out of Ice Palace. I mean, that's a lot of time he's going to have to try to make up to get back in this here. But
Yes.
and yeah.
Ice Palace is extremely long, and it's not a place you want to die or start over in. Meanwhile, TripleZed just... Misery Meyer should be no problem with his equipment. In fact, since he knows he's in Go mode, once he finds that big key and I believe 1 small key, he should be fine.
Yep, basically. And it's hard to not come across small keys in Meyer, so really just looking for that big key here.
I always get lost in Meyer. It's like the dungeon I practice the least.
Yeah, Meyer and Ice are definitely the 2 dungeons that are a little convoluted, and how you want to route them changes depending on what items you come into them with a lot of the time.
Oh, and there is Ether. Not particularly useful, but you never know.
And AA is correct. There actually is a way to get straight to the boss without any small keys and mire. That is true. Christos is absolutely right. Absolutely pronounced said. All right, Rez checking out Quakefish here. Unfortunately, he's not going to get Quake from it. So Rez, yeah, I was just about to say, Rez going to pick up some pots here, I would imagine.
I hope he does, because he needs the magic. He needs an emergency as well. Oh no, he's going to Link's house. Okay.
Right. I mean, this is Rez going to dive into Swamp here? I mean, that would be terrible if that's what he chooses to do.
Yeah, I don't think Swamp had anything of interest other than the Mirror Shield.
He could just be doing Fat Fairy, and hopefully for Rez's sake, that is what he's doing. No, don't go south, Rez!
No! Rez, no.
Turn around!
If only we could tell him, but we cannot. We have to, unfortunately, observe this tragedy.
Oh.
And that's it.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate.
However, TripleZed has to do this pretty difficult dark room.
Oh, did he just... Oh, no. Pushed it just a little too far. There we go. Got it.
Yeah, it's a little harder for us to tell if he's got it because we don't have the sound cues for him.
Right. Getting through this part here. The fireball spitters up here just continuously shoot as long as you swing your sword or have it out. So it's...
Yes, it makes it a little dangerous. Oh, and hits that dead on. I think he's almost through the worst of it now.
I do believe TripleZed has at least one blue pot left. So he should be okay, regardless.
At least you can see the switches in the dark. Like, that's nice.
Rez practicing his best Dark Magician impressions.
Well, of course the silver arrows make Vitreous cry, chat. Like, he's having this hunk of metal shoved into his multiple eyeballs. That's bound to hurt.
I challenge anybody in chat not to cry with the silver arrow just jammed into their eyes. All these
I think crying would be the least someone's concern about.
Probably.
And yes, it is kind of weird to be in go mode with so many dungeons to go. Like, not only is there 3 more dungeons on TripleZed's part, there's also Ganon's Tower. I guess that's a dungeon too.
Although I suppose, to be fair, we have dipped into Desert and Hera already. But yeah, actually hitting go mode with 4 crystals still in hand is...
unusual, to say the least.
Yeah.
You know, Rez is only finding disappointment. But at least he's not getting mad chest anymore.
Rez is going to go for the full left side clear here, too.
I believe this is a custom tracker, chat. Like, exclusively for this. It has a cool little web interface and everything. It's neat.
But if you're planning on running on your own, the cross-product tracker is an excellent way to go.
I think Test Runners is also pretty good. It also has a built-in map tracker.
That is another one.
Like, Cross Cross Products Tracker is good, but I believe it still needs an update to its logic.
Not anymore.
Not
Recently
anymore?
updated it.
Oh,
Yep.
that's awesome. Never mind me then.
And yes, the only sequence break TripleZed is technically still on is the lamp, but we know where it is. It's in the Hammer Peg Cave. So as soon as he got Hammer, he was able to technically get it.
Yeah, he might head that way. He might not.
I don't think so, really, at this point. The only dark room he has left to worry about is the Turtle Rock one. I think we're pretty much. He may check chests that are literally right in front of his face, hoping for half magic or gold sword. But
and yes, the tracking is being done by all these excellent Sir Links-a-Lot 777. He's doing it for both runners, which, given that even us commentators can't keep 100% tabs on things, makes him pretty amazing.
That's right. Apparently, we couldn't count to 3 in Eastern Palace, so.
That's probably why I'm not in the primary tournament then. Because Eastern has 3 chests.
That's probably why I did some really silly things on my first match against Willard, like, climbing, not being able to count to 1 small keys in Ganon's Tower.
Coming right up on Lemola's with his choices of weaponry, he could one-cycle it very easily.
Yeah. Fire or Ice Rod is 2 shots to kill a Landmola.
The 2 of them doing short jumps. That didn't help any.
Yeah. TripleZed firing his rod a little bit early. Never good when that happens.
A 2-cycle. That's honestly not bad given the situation. 2 of them doing a short hop.
Yeah, clean it up very nicely though for the 2-cycle.
And yes, the trackers for these, they are what makes it possible. And the restreamers, and also the runners. Like, everyone in the community helps make all these runs possible.
Absolutely. While TripleZed's grabbing some potions here, we'll definitely do that. We've done the shoutouts for Links a lot, but once again, and for Feasel for the restream and all the administrators who are helping put this together. This is a ton of work for an extremely fun tournament that they're putting on for you guys. So big shoutouts to all of them.
Yes, it's incredible the amount of work everyone has put into this. Especially during the qualifier runs, where Feasel was, as runners completed them, he was switching streams. I'm not sure how he managed to pull it off. And no, Feasel doesn't do all of them, but he does do quite a few.
Right. And I'll try to name off some names for the restreamers. I'm sure I'm going to miss a few, but Alvi, Felix the Cat, Clifford, Emil Saru, Zelmus, and I'm sure there's 1 or 2 other ones that I've completely forgot. Epibliticus, all the restreamers. Thanks a lot, you guys.
But now, Rez is fighting, unfortunately, a boss that will not net him. He's on the wrong path, unfortunately. Well, he hasn't done a pedestal check. I actually wonder what the odds of him doing a blind pull could be.
He might do it just for the memes if he decides to go back to Eastern, but I think that's probably going to be pretty low on his priority list.
$20 from that boss. I'll admit... Oh wait, no, he's fine. I just realized his only other dungeon other than Turtle Rock is Tower of Hera, so he can just mirror to that when he's done with Turtle Rock. TripleZed
is going to get the Go Mode Tower, Turtle Rock Tower of Hera into Ganon's Tower Dream here.
Extremely rare. Almost unheard of, really. And right. Yes, well, I think Rez has remembered that the Fat Fairy may be a thing.
Yeah, he's on his... I think he's... Oh
no, not again.
Oh.
Did our messages reach across time and space and reach him?
Pat, you have given Rez your energy. You have given him the knowledge.
And he needs all the energy he can get his hands on right now. These streams are 100% live. And I'm glad they are. I think it would be a little awkward to post-commentate these.
Yeah, probably. I'm not. I don't know how good of an actor I would be trying to get hype about stuff. But
I know, right? I predict 5 anger slashes, and he already did one on that statue,
Yeah.
so 4 more.
Yeah, Rez has given us some anger slashes. I'm sure we'll see them.
No anger slashes.
Yeah, but there's a stream hopped a little bit there for me, but I didn't hear any.
Yep. Where could you be going? Oh, there they are. There's the anger slashes.
There they are. Just waiting to not waste time while the duck was on its way.
Good thinking. You can't let your anger cloud your judgment to get through these dungeons fast.
TripleZed, a little zigzaggy through the chain chomp room there, but actually gets through it fairly clean.
I remember my first ever rando. I didn't remember that there was a chest in the chain chomp room. Guess what item was in it?
Boots?
Ding, ding, ding. And desert was boot locked. What was this pyramid ledge? It wasn't even checked.
It was, but it was blue rupees or bombs, something not
Something
great.
Something
that was
dumb.
blue. Yeah.
Meanwhile, TripleZed is going through Turtle Rock quite well, looks like.
Oh, and of course, make the announcement. Rezephos has entered Go mode, but 2 minutes ago.
Oh my!
But
Yeah. We were too busy doing shoutouts and expressing past experiences. Sorry, runners.
yeah,
it's weird being in Go mode right now.
Yeah. We are a fair amount of time into the seed, so the crystal slog has just been slow, and I think a lot of that was honestly mostly due to the really linear part of the first part of the seed. The first 20 to 30 minutes of this seed were you were basically forced to do things in a specific order in order to be able to get anywhere. So that really sort of slowed
no divergence.
Yeah.
Like, they diverged a little on the Ice Rod Cave, but quickly reconverged.
Yep. Lamp is at the hammer pegs.
Lovely spot for it. And both the Quake Medallion and the boots were located at Fat Fairy.
Indeed. It was Go mode for both of our runners, yeah.
You don't see that too often in V26.
Oh, gold sword for Rez.
Oh, Rez has a slight advantage.
That will, yeah. It doesn't save as much time as a lot of people think, but it certainly is something that'll help him get a few boss kills done quicker. Rez got to be careful. Rez has been skating thin ice with his health throughout the entirety of this run.
I think he just wants to subject us to that awful, awful beeping as much as possible.
Yeah.
And once again, Chad is coming up with puns faster than I can.
I like calling it the Alestra sword because it makes your enemies poop bricks. Keep it PG-13, but that's my favorite meme for the butter sword.
But you know what I'm wondering now? While it is not critical, I wonder where half magic is.
Could pretty much be anywhere.
They're probably unlikely to go for it at this time, however.
We may run into it in Vienna's tower while we're looking for the big key. Could be upstairs in Hera, since we actually... Oh no, sorry, Rez did complete Hera already. My apologies.
Yeah, we know there is nothing there, unfortunately. Careful, TripleZed, you're running a little low on the magics. But it looks like you got through just fine. Zed is significantly ahead.
Oh, TripleZed! Taking a death? Oh, he's got a fairy still. Okay.
Well, it's still kind of no, because dying does take quite a bit of time.
Okay. I was just about to say, you really don't want to die on Trinex with a potion in your pocket, especially since Zed did not need to go to the laser bridge room, but thankfully had a fairy in reserve.
All that hard work for Burrito.
Trinex loves his maps. Another little interesting tidbit, it doesn't really ever play into much, but because of the way the logic currently works, bosses are actually more likely to have maps than compasses, which is odd.
It is a little odd, but that is the magic of the randomizer. It does weird things and it works.
I guess they just prefer burritos to tacos?
I guess.
Or nachos?
You know, we get to witness the extremely rare Turtle Rock to Hera play.
As far as I understand it, the map compass thing is because I believe the logic actually technically places the maps first. So they have a better chance at winding up on the boss because of the item distributions. If he's still here, Amazing Ampharos is a guy who could answer that better than I could, or Vitorp, obviously.
I like Christos' answer, honestly.
Bosses
want you to get lost.
That's a good answer, too. I like that answer, too.
You know, Rez is quite excellently taking out the eyeballs, but he did miss one shot.
One shot's no big deal. Still getting that nice zero cycle.
But unfortunately, Rez still has Ice Palace to do, and Turtle Rock. And Desert Palace.
Yeah, unfortunately for Rez. Yeah, unfortunately for Rez, the death in Ice Palace really hurt him. Not only because of the time lost in and of Ice itself, but because it really, I'm sure, made him do some things that he didn't really want to do otherwise, like doing Swamp before Fat Fairy. Amazing Ampharos, thank you very much for the explanation on the map logic there.
It's always good to have those who know how the logic works in chat to explain these things that are probably a little above our understanding. You know, TripleZed does not care about any boxes in this dungeon. He knows he needs absolutely nothing. Rez died in Ice Palace, which was the big thing, but he's always been a little behind before that.
Yeah, I think the two plays that I think really helped really decide this race are Rez's death in Ice, because he was out of magic after that death, and so had to leave. And I'm sure he felt like he was behind at that point as well. And TripleZed actually, when he could have gone into Ice, decided to skip out on it and go into Pendant Thieves and got his bow, and that was a choice that paid off for him at that point too. I think those two decisions really account for a lot of the difference.
But now, chat, it is time to guess how many chests it will take to find the big key.
That's right. 22 locations, 21 chests and a torch. Get your guesses in.
Get your guesses in and win nothing other than guessing it right.
You win.
Again, lots of numbers.
You win the prize that we have been giving away for the last few races. You get Herfy Durfy's undying internet love and appreciation.
Here we are. A shovel in chest 1. A key in chest 2.
TripleZed not deciding to go right with the early key.
It's a common play, regardless. And bombs on the torch, that's 3. Hi Bob gets to live.
So I think the idea behind people taking the early key right is that if the big key winds up being in the vanilla compass room with the 4 chests, if you go there and you're wrong and then immediately go left, you lose maybe, let's say, a minute doing that. Whereas if you go left but the key winds up being in the compass room, you wind up losing several minutes. So I think that's sort of why people are choosing to hedge their bets there a little bit.
Meanwhile, those 4 chests did not prove to be particularly useful. But we're coming up on chest number 8. Could it be the one? Nope. We haven't found all the 20 rupee drops yet, so...
And yeah, it really does come down to gambling what you think you want to do in GT. But going left gets you the largest amount of chests in one trip. Going right first potentially loses you the least amount of time by being wrong. And the self-styled Dark Magician route gets you the largest amount of chests quicker than your opponent will doing the standard left in most cases. So that's the logic behind the 3 most common GT routes.
Meanwhile, we're up to 9 chests, I believe, and no sign of that big key.
Nice bomb jump there from Rez.
It's always nice seeing that trick executed head on the first try. Because it's harder than it looks. Oh, still no sign of that big key, unfortunately. And no, unfortunately, the randomizer cannot be put on the GBA version. It is missing a lot of things, if you think about it.
Yeah, the Japanese 1.0 version has a lot of minor glitches in it that were fixed in a lot of the other games. The big one being the item dashing abilities is not there.
I think fake flippers is also fixed in the English version.
Yes, I believe it is as well.
And Silverless Ganon is also sorta fixed. No, Bob is dead.
Chest. Bob's chest.
Bob died for a good cause. You know, here we are against Cold Stare. Had to think for a moment what this puffball was called. Oh. Aw. The herding was disrupted by a hunk of ice.
TripleZed moving on into the gauntlet here. Oh, taking a little bit of trouble in the second Mimic room here, but getting through it.
The Mimics are an extremely annoying opponent. And yeah, I think the GBA version, I think the only glitch in it is to get like the Palace of the Four Sword or whatever it's called without actually doing the Four Swords thing. But I don't think that actually gets you anything interesting. Plus, the GBA version's music is there isn't PG-13 friendly words I can use to describe the music.
Plus, they fixed the thing where you skip ice and do Mire first to get the cane and just breeze through Ice Palace. I mean, what's that about?
I know, right?
All right, TripleZed been doing Making quick work of the back half of the gauntlet here so far.
But it seems like some of the rooms are giving him a little bit of trouble.
Oh, just missing the silver arrow on the last mola there.
And yet the GBA version has quite a few flaws, other than the fact that the music is awful. Meanwhile, well, Rez has no reason to know what's going on, so he's just going to keep on trucking through, unaware that he is very much behind.
Yeah. Rez heading into Turtle Rock here, TripleZed, heading into the first of the 4 torch rooms.
This torch room actually gave me a little bit of trouble the other day, where I hit that right torch dead on, and it didn't light.
Yeah,
for some reason.
Yeah, there seems to be... hit detection is just not this game's strongest point. This is an absolutely fantastic game, but hit detection, I would say, is not its best feature.
Yes, it is certainly lacking a little bit there.
Yeah, both of our runners doing pretty well in the equipment. Red mail, riot shields, level 3 and 4 swords. TripleZed not opening anything, so unless Rez decides to look for it on his way up, it looks like we will not be finding half magic.
But that's okay. At this point, they don't really need magic.
Yeah, I absolutely hate ALTTP, Christos. That's why I have not been able to put this randomizer down for the last 6 months. I just hate this game. I hate myself.
It eats all your free time. If you're not racing it, you're watching someone else do it.
That's right. Gonna get linked to the past randomizer into the NCAA or some other sort of equivalent affiliate.
And here we are against Aga 2. Will he troll it? Will he troll TripleZed? Yes.
The answer is always yes.
Oh, a double.
Nice double to start.
Okay, we have another one? Yes, a double-double. Will we have a double-double-double?
Oh.
No.
4-cycle Aghanim still entirely respectable. There we go. 2-2-1-1.
And TripleZed opting to just kind of jog in place a little bit while waiting for Ganon to head off to his pyramid. And here we are, folks. We're about to enter the final battle and have a winner determined of this race. Because admittedly, Rez's odds don't look too favorable right now.
TripleZed would need to have some serious problems on Ganon here.
Like the game crashing. Oh. I think he missed a slash there. I think normally he would be doing the fire bats by now. But here they are.
Yep, got it in there, in the corner. Be careful.
Ganon is not exactly known for his intelligence and will just stand there while being stabbed.
Double potion. Oh yeah, you're gonna choose not to play around here.
And Tatahe, there are numerous ways to play this on console. The most common way is the SD2 SNES cartridge, which does exactly what it says in the name. I think there's one other flash cart that can be used on actual hardware.
Yeah, there's a few different options. I would agree that the SD2 SNES is probably the most common.
It is, A little pricey, but worth it.
Once you get it, you can play every game ever released for the system, provided you, of course, also own the hard copies, because no one would ever have a ROM of a game they don't own the hard copy for.
Piracy is bad, kids. But it looks like, while we've been talking about that, TripleZed is progressing through the fight pretty easily. And yes, the arrows were found in the light world. We have the torch glitch. One of the easiest glitches to do, I believe, as present in the English version.
Whiffing there.
And folks, we have our winner.
Indeed. TripleZed has finished in first place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 50 minutes, and 26 seconds.
For a seed this trollish, that's pretty impressive, I think. And what is our Triforce message? You win! And win you had, TripleZed. But, wow. This seed. This was quite the seed.
So, TripleZed is in the waiting room. We will pull him in here for an interview.
Yes, we will have a little bit of a chat with him.
TripleZed, congratulations, sir.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
We can.
Yep.
So, any general thoughts about the seed?
Well, I really liked that Boots and Quake were at Fat Fairy.
That was certainly a hype find, for sure.
Yes.
I was thinking when I was checking there, I was like, you know, if those two items are here, I would be in Go mode.
And Go mode you entered very quickly.
Lo and behold. Rezephos finishing off Trinex here. He'll be heading off to Ganon's Tower now.
So I have to ask, before we go into thing, where was the lamp?
Lamp was at the hammer pegs.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Rezephos found those.
Not too long after you got Fat Fairy, actually. So you were both without it for the majority of the time. So I did take a couple notes about stuff that happened. So you got an interesting choice where you fluted, I assume, to go to Ice Palace, and then decided to change your mind and go to Thieves, which turned out to be a fantastic choice to net you your bow. What prompted that decision for you?
I was just thinking that there are 4 items at Thieves, and I could do it, though had I been thinking I would have gone Hammer Pegs right after, but I wasn't thinking, apparently. And I was just like, you know, there's so many good items in Thieves and Skullwoods these days, so...
Yeah,
so
and...
go there first.
Yeah, right. And what did you think when Sahasrahla handed you that book?
I was wondering if there would be something really chilly. The book came from, that was Swamp Palace. I was like, oh, okay. I'll try to route it in, but...
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think the big difference in the race for you guys was your decision to head back to Thieves Town when you did. And Rez unfortunately took a really unfortunate death inside of Ice Palace and didn't have any magic to get back in right away, and I think that sort of led him to do some things that he wouldn't have done if that hadn't happened.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that's
Rez is trying to hover. And not doing too well at it, unfortunately. It is a difficult trick.
Well, I mean, it's not like he's going to lose by practicing.
Right?
This is true.
Oh, I went to Pod, and I wasn't thinking about it. And halfway into, or like after I started doing Pod, I was like, why did I do this? If I don't get at least Fire Rod, you know, the turtle room that you have to kill all the turtles to unlock the door, that's pretty tough without even Fire Rod to light the torches.
Right.
And then I got it, and I was like, oh, well, okay. Never mind.
All right, very clutch find. Yeah, Rez definitely nearly had a death to those turtles as well, but he managed to pull through that. So you're two, I believe. All right, so you're 1-1 now. Any thoughts on where you are in terms of the overall swing of things?
Well, when we started this race and we got so many items early, I was just like, ugh, this is going to be a pretty free seed, and I don't think my execution is as top notch as some other players. Like I know Rez was only a few seconds behind Wild Anaconda in the first round, so it was, I was like, ugh, this is going to be rough. But then, turned out the item placement in the Dark World was just trolly enough that I felt like I could do well, and I think my routing today was better than my routing sometimes. So, to answer the question, I don't know. There's too many good players.
That's a good answer.
I will agree with you
A
that
lucky seed, can get you farther than, at least at my skill level, than my skill can.
well, I don't know about that. I would agree that I thought your routing was largely hugely on point in this. Yeah.
But yeah, don't undersell yourself. After all, you are in the main tournament.
That's right, and this was a fully deserved win on your behalf. Absolutely.
But
Once I started doing darkroom strats, I just had to hope that that was giving me enough time advantage.
Yeah, no. I mean, you and Rez obviously were both handling the dark rooms, but I do think you handled them generally a little bit better. Was that a conscious gamble on your part to skip the dark maze part of Pod?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was I didn't have a map up, and I was like, I think there are 2 items in there. Well, I didn't know there were 2 items because I think Helmasaur King had a junk.
Delicious
Yeah,
burrito. Yes.
yes, there is.
So I was hoping that there was only 1 item in there.
Meanwhile, Rez is going through the gauntlet. Looks like he is having a little bit of trouble.
Seems to be on his way here. So it's interesting, TripleZed, that you mentioned you felt that you got a lot of items in the beginning, because I think from the commentator side of things, we were thinking, man, this seed seems to be progressing really linearly and really slowly for the first 20 or 25 minutes. Did you feel differently?
Yeah, I felt like it was pretty linear for the first 25 minutes, which made me a little less, I like seeds that aren't very linear, but I was happy with the Dark World, once you got there.
Yeah, the mid-game really seemed to open things up, absolutely.
I was just afraid that it was going to be like, oh, get 1 item, there's only 1 place to go, and then a sequence of those, if it's long enough, you get everything. And I don't have as much confidence in those kind of races. I'd rather win or die by the gamble,
All right, yeah, no, absolutely.
You certainly lived in this case.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm actually trying to think of any decisions that you made that wound up backfiring, and I'm actually having a hard time.
I don't think I needed to go to Swamp Palace.
No,
Yeah.
true. But I mean, it's hard to blame, considering you were starting to get really low on locations. It's really hard to really say that was a bad choice.
Well, and the other thing I was afraid of for a little while was that Quake or Boots were in Pod.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, had you? Oh, right, because you left the items behind. Right. Rez up to Land Molus 2 here.
So does Rez do Dark for multiple dungeons as well?
He did, yes. Rez, like I said, Rez really had a tough time in the turtle room because Rez was skating by on minimal resources throughout a lot of this seed, and he had no magic to use his fire rod in that room.
We heard that heartbeat quite a bit.
Yeah. And he killed the Helmasaur on a half heart.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah.
Yeah, his go of that was perfect.
But yeah, unfortunately, I think that the death in Ice Palace, unfortunately, was the main
Yes.
part of Rez's undoing.
Yeah, until that point, I would say he was pretty much right on your heels.
Right. I would definitely say noticeably, definitely still be behind, but I'd not egregiously behind by any definition.
Anger slashing the torch while waiting.
So, did he do T-Rock and Misery lampless as well, or did he get the lamp before those? I'm
He
just
had the
curious.
lab.
Yeah, I'll have to watch the VOD just to...
Yeah. He basically checked hammer pegs as you were opening up Fat Fairy.
It's probably good that I didn't need the lamp because I forgot all about hammer pegs. I was thinking, oh, you know, I got the lamp or the mirror, and I routed all through the Dark Kakariko, so I don't need to go back. And just completely forgot.
Well, anything else, Amatsu, for TripleZed?
I think you've asked all the questions I could think of.
Okay.
We just have to wait for Rez to complete his run now.
Well, feel free to hang around if you want. If you want, TripleZed, we'll bring Rez home here.
Yes,
Yeah,
you can be a third commentator for a little bit. It'll be
Well,
fun.
I'm just watching the speed gaming too, so I'll let you guys handle that.
Aw.
Oh, Rez gonna try to.
He's thinking about it. He's thinking.
Come on. Oh.
Aw. That requires so many frame perfect inputs.
Indeed.
I was in a stream that Andy was doing earlier, and he described the process. Basically, I believe it's you have to push the button for a frame, then release it for a frame, then push it again and repeat.
Basically, yeah, it's basically pressing and releasing the dash button at exactly 1 frame intervals. So yeah,
And keep in mind, this game runs at 60 frames per second. So that's a 1/60th of a second to do the hovering, and that has to be done like 20, 30 times for that.
Rez is gonna be disrespecting
Disrespecting
the
the
validation
validation chest? Disqualified. He is DQ'd.
We got bombs, we got bombos,
What else will he throw at it? Nothing.
You know, that's
and a cold shoulder.
That's the only required chest, or non-required chest I opened.
What was
once
in
I was
it?
in go mode.
I don't
Yeah.
even remember what was in it.
I think it was a compass.
Yeah, that sounds right. Plate of nachos, yeah.
You need that to navigate this place. It's complicated.
Alright. Rez into Aghanim 2. You Triple Z actually handled Aghanim 2 very well. The first couple of patterns he gave you were not easy, and you got doubles out of them.
We were hoping for a double, but that was not meant to be.
Well, I think at one point I did get 2 hits, but it didn't register them as separate.
You got a double twice in a row, and
Yeah.
then 2 singles.
Oh, triple
Oh,
there
triple.
for Rez. Oh, baby, a triple.
I think that would have been another triple as well if it hadn't killed Aghanim first. I admit, I'm a little surprised Rez didn't angrily beat Aghanim's corpse with a weapon. And here we go into... Rez will have an easier time because he has the golden sword.
Where was the last sword upgrade?
Misery Mire in the compass chest, I believe.
Yeah.
So close.
So close.
Yep,
But
so
you
far.
definitely didn't need it.
No, you... Tempered was more than enough. You know, it looks like Rez didn't get enough swings in to avoid He ate a second fire ring, or fire bat's ring thing.
He is on low health, and I don't know if Rez ever did pick up potions or anything, so
I don't think he did. This could be another tragedy. We could have a problem.
Through the tough part now. Shouldn't need to take any more hits with the gold sword from here.
But he's gonna just beat him some more anyways. Another torch glitch. Oh no!
Taking that fire bat.
And no fairy. I imagine he is not particularly happy about that result.
Too bad for Rez. I mean, I guess it's a greater sample of what happened to him in this run, really. I suppose it's fitting in that sense, but no one ever likes to see somebody die or fall on Ganon.
Especially when they're so close to victory.
Exactly.
Tried to use the hookshot to get away, but it didn't quite work.
Hookshot's invincibility frames incredibly useful in this fight if you use them correctly.
But yes, chat, send Rez your energy so he can complete this run.
Indeed. Send Rez your energy.
Because he certainly needs it.
I think he's got this. Now he's got 2 fire bat hits. Or I'm a little bit behind, but...
Oh yeah, you don't have access to our special commentary stream.
So Rez should be okay. I mean, if he whiffs a couple arrows here, magic could be an issue, but he should be all right.
Uh-oh.
Ooh, okay, he's got one more torchlight left.
And the glitch at least saves the day.
2 more, I guess. All right, so he's...
And Ganon falls.
So Rezephos finished in 2nd place with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 7 minutes, and 6 seconds.
Given that it's a randomizer, that's still not... Oh. He took a little bit to duck in there. But due to the randomizer, anything sub 3 is probably amazing for most players. And yes, Rez has won. I hope we can get him in here for an interview.
Take a look here. Rez is indeed in the waiting room. We will grab him.
Welcome, Rez.
Hi.
Congratulations, sir, on completing the seed. Any general thoughts about that run for you?
How are both of the items I need in Fat Fairy?
We were wondering that ourselves.
Just why?
So, the health strats you had in this game, you were skating on thin ice in quite a few spots. Half a heart on...
Don't mind the Palace of Darkness.
Yeah.
That was all calculated.
Okay.
Were you trying to drive us insane with the beep?
It really wasn't calculated. I thought I had Fire Rod. I didn't have magic.
Turtle room was not kind to you.
That was godly that I didn't die going into the boss or in the boss. You shot like what, 3 fireballs?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, you played it. I actually said during the race that if you have to do a boss on low health or low equipment, that the way you did it is absolutely the way a new beginner should look to do it. You were calm, you were collected, you didn't do anything silly, you didn't rush, you handled it really well.
Yeah.
So I guess the thing we have to ask about the death in Ice Palace, did that sort of... I know you had to leave because you didn't have any magic to kill the freezers at the beginning to go back in, but did that sort of change how you decided to play the seed from there?
Yeah, I was pretty much just like, whatever. And going by the V26 way, I just went into Swamp instead of checking anything else. Pretty sure I knew I could get Fat Fairy at the time. And I knew there's something else, but I can't think of it now. But I just opted to go to Swamp first. It was Pyramid. I was thinking Pyramid.
Right. Triple Z did wind up dipping into Swamp as well. You guys were so low on spots to check, and Swamp being 7 items, including the green pendant, it's hard to call that. Even though it didn't wind up yielding anything other than the Riot Shield, it certainly can't call that a bad decision on either of your parts. Just unfortunate for you that Fat Fairy wound up having go mode sitting in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else, Amatsu, for our runners?
I can't think of anything other than that was a very good seed. It looked very fun.
Disagree.
And you can disagree all you want. But yeah, I believe we just have to wait for these credits to scroll now.
Yeah. So once again, GG both to Triple Z and to Rez. It was a really fun race to watch. Once the world opened up, it was really fun to commentate on and speculate on as well.
Yes, both of you were Rez was following Triple Zed's heels pretty closely in the beginning, and even pulled ahead a few times.
Yeah, even all through the mid game, you guys were back and forth. It was really fun to watch. So congratulations to both of you.
Thanks, GG Rez.
It was fun to watch. I'm happy.
And
Yeah,
Good luck.
GG.
I believe our next race will be at midnight EST or EDT or whatever you like to call it, between Demon RHK and Sabotender.
Yes,
That should be fun to watch.
absolutely. Secondary tournament match, but the secondary tournaments matches are no less fun to watch. You should definitely head over there and watch those good people run that.
Thanks for commentating. Is it Sir Link-a-Lot who did the tracker?
Yes, it is, and he did a great job.
And I'm going to duck out.
Alrighty.
All right, you take it easy.
And absolutely be sure to follow these runners, twitch.tv/TripleZed, twitch.tv/Rezephos. Be sure to give them both follows. They gave you guys a really entertaining race today. Be sure to give them a follow and check in on them.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for watching.
Okay. So I don't think there's much else. We'll let the credits roll here. One more thanks to Feasel and Sir Links-a-Lot and everyone who's running the tournament.
Yes, everyone involved has done such an amazing job. But also thanks to the community. Without you guys, it would not be... I don't think the community would be this large without all these people.
Absolutely. The runners and the community are what make this really super enjoyable. All right, so I think we'll sign off here while Rez's credits roll. So I am Zyrak.
I'm Amatsu DF.
And thanks a lot for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next race.